it became 64 ounces of icicle vengeance. Fortunately, I got stopping. Greg was going, a writer, stage director, stage choreographer, stage fight director, with a solid background in improvisational comedy and stage combat and musical theater and Shakespeare. Fandoms include, obviously, horror. I read nonstop, Doctor Who, some science fiction, some comic books. And I'm going to confess right now, I have no idea what this panel is going to be about. This panel is about what. This panel is my time to talk to you guys, and for you guys to ask whatever you want. It's very funny because this panel is sometimes about anime, sometimes partially about anime. Sometimes it's about musical theater, sometimes it's about horror, sometimes it's about Shakespeare, sometimes it's about literature, sometimes it's about Doctor Who. Sometimes it's about all of those things. And it's very funny, I always say that, and the first year I did a solo panel at Anime Boston, they said, oh, this is Anime Boston. All of the questions will be about anime. First 3 questions were about anime, and then we got on horror movies, and that's all anybody wanted to talk about. And the people from Boston went, this is Anime Boston. Yeah. And they wanted to know about horror movies. So, a couple of my new recent obsessions. I am absolutely obsessed with Carl Pilkington. I think the man is a genius.
Yes,
just recently started watching. I just recently finished season 3 of Game of Thrones, which, yeah, I really fell in love with that series. In fact, I just started the first book on the flight here, so I'm now going to start trying to read the books. They're a little slow for my taste, but it's okay. So that's kind of who I am. This is a Q&A, so I cannot provide A unless you provide Q. So, okay, right there, first question.
Where is Q?
My favorite person from Game of Thrones is absolutely Tyrion. I love Tyrion, but I do like Jon Snow a lot. Although that's not, everybody who saw the show said, there's a character in the show that reminds me of you. And so I'm thinking, oh, they're going to say the short guy. And it wasn't. The minute I saw this character, I went, okay, that's who everybody thinks I did. Apparently, all of my friends think that I remind them of the fencing master, or the dance teacher. Who I, especially in my combat training, which is funny because I looked at him and I thought, God, that's Inigo Montoya's uncle. I really did. He reminded me of Inigo Montoya from Princess Bride. Right back there.
I kind of have a two-parter.
Go ahead and shut the door because I can't hear.
I have a two-parter.
Okay.
Can I quick, since we're really getting this, we're about to go.
Okay.
I'm going to make this worth a while.
Okay, I don't have a Sharpie.
Oh, I do.
If you have a Sharpie, I will do that. I'm not supposed to be doing that during this panel, but I will do this very quickly.
I know, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I am so much sexier animated.
Yes.
I am so much sexier animated.
And I promised I'd do this for my friend Delisle.
Your Lordship!
You Kimono!
Your Lordship!
You Kimono!
I did that last night in the autograph session to a girl who was dressed as Yukimura, and I thought she was going to go to the bathroom on herself. I didn't mean to scare her that bad. I went, you Kimono! She's like, Just so you all know, some of you may have heard this, ever since I was 13 years old, I've always signed every autograph with a giant L that combines the words love and laughter always. I think it's the nicest thing you can wish another human being, to be loved forever and to laugh forever, so it's just kind of my way of getting that energy out. So, but I have such poor handwriting, it looks like so that's actually what it says, is love and laughter always. Thank you, not a problem.
Is that Klingon?
No. Right there.
Can you please do your Prince of my voice?
Something what you want me to say to you, darling. It's not a problem. It's very easy for me to do. Another question.
I don't know if you're as much of an activist as Greg with the Piracy.
I am.
I was curious, the current legislation that's up, the internet distribution legislation that's before Congress right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's affecting the music industry, but it's going to directly affect the animation industry, particularly like Funimation being able to sell directly, that type of thing.
I'm not sure. I have not actually looked at the legislation myself yet. I've been so busy working on shows that I've not been able to keep abreast of what's good. Do you know what specifically it's saying?
Well, I know that I have a friend testifying before Congress for the music industry that it will prevent musicians from selling their own music.
Okay.
And that's the concern that they have, where they want their stuff to be protected, they don't want to be prevented from selling it.
the thing is with the anime that like we stream and that we sell on iTunes and stuff like that, we are actually the official licensors. So we have to, when we buy the licensing for it, we buy digital distribution license and streaming media license and stuff like that. So I don't know how deeply it will affect. I hope it doesn't, because I think the streaming and the downloadable content and stuff has been very vital in helping to reboost the industry back up, and I think it's been a really good thing. So I really don't know, but I'm actually very active and almost as vocal as my brother about piracy. So yeah, in fact, I've often said, and I said this the other day, I'm a firm believer that if you're a fan, you put your money where your mouth is. Which means, speaking of one of my favorite fandoms, on Saturday nights I watch Doctor Who. On Sunday, I go into iTunes and download it because I buy the season pass. And then months later, when it comes out on Blu-ray, I buy the Blu-ray. That's putting your money where your mouth is. I am a firm supporter. I want them to continue doing it. So I support my fandom. I support all my fandoms with my money. So, another cue. It's been a long panel if you guys don't have questions. Right back there.
Here?
Yeah, pointing at yourself.
So, you've probably heard of the cereal Captain Crunch. Do you think... You've never heard of Captain Crunch?
No, I've heard of the cereal.
The Captain Crunch, yes.
Are you talking about a cereal to eat or like the cereal, like a cereal movie?
To eat.
Oh, yes, I've heard of it, yes.
So,
Very
is there a
confusing.
movie? That'd be great. But do you think that cutting the roof of your mouth on Captain Crunch, is that a real world problem, or does it not happen enough to justify it becoming an actual thing?
It doesn't concern me because I'm a Fruit Loops guy. Sorry, I hated Captain
No,
Crunch
Fruit
as a
Loops are
child.
good too.
Another quick, two, right there, you had your hand up. Is there a question? Is there? Who do you think my favorite doctor is? Okay, hang on. Who do you think my favorite doctor is? How many old school Whovian fans do we have here? Got some old school fans. Then, those of you who don't know, I will, hang on just 1 second. I gotta find something. No, not the fourth. I actually started with the fourth. Let me see if I can still do this. I don't know if I grabbed this right or not. Hang on. But, old school Who fans, this should tell you who my favorite doctor is. I'm a 7 guy. I'm a 7. He played the spoons. He is the reason that I learned to play the spoons. And in fact, my girlfriend, this is before we were dating, was at Dragon Con a couple of years ago when Sylvester McCoy was a guest. She was a panelist. And she was in the green room with him. And they were talking. She goes, oh my God, she said, I have a friend who is fanatical about you. She said, he learned to play the spoons because of you. And so he goes, oh dear Lord, let's call him. So I get this phone call from a good friend of mine, who later became my girlfriend, and I answered the phone, thinking it was her, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And he said, is this Chris? And I'm like, hello Chris, this is Sylvester McCoy. And I was like, yeah, so he talked to me for about 10 minutes on the phone, and I jumped up and down and looked like I had to go to the bathroom. I was so excited. So yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of 7. I started with Baker, but I'm a huge fan of 7, which is why I'm such a big Matt Smith fan. You have to remember, Chris Jones and I were talking about this. If you look at the series, Sylvester McCoy was the darkest doctor since William Hartnell. Absolutely the darkest. He had a much darker side than any of the other doctors. And he was the most comical doctor, or the silliest doctor, since Patrick Troughton, who was the second doctor. Now jump forward. Smith is the darkest doctor since McCoy. He's also the silliest doctor since McCoy. And that's why I've got such a fondness for Smith. In fact, there's even a tip of the hat to McCoy in Big Bang. Everybody thinks, oh, the Doctor in the fez. The Doctor, you first saw the Doctor wearing a fez in Silver Nemesis. When he and Ace are under Buckingham Palace and he keeps poking out from behind these columns wearing different things. At one point, he comes out from behind one of the columns wearing a fez and carrying a mop. Think about the look in Big Bang. You can't tell me it's not a tip of the hat to Sylvester McCoy. So, anyway, another cue. Right back there.
You mentioned you're a Carl Pilkington fan.
What? Yeah. What about Carl?
Yeah. How did you first get into being a fan of his, and why do you think other people should get into more of like everything that he does?
I I saw a preview for An Idiot Abroad, and I thought, what the hell is this? And I don't like Ricky Gervais. I can't stand Ricky Gervais. And I didn't realize on An Idiot Abroad that it was a Ricky Gervais thing. And I was like, and so it was on, I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And Carl Pilkington, I've read all of his books, by the way. Carl Pilkington has such a unique, everyman take on everything. For instance, when he's in Mexico, and they try to get him to write a bull. And at first they try to give him tequila, and there's a worm in it, and he gets very upset. And he says, "You're all crazy." He said, "You want me to eat a worm and write a bull? That's nuts." And I can't say I would feel any different. If you asked me to eat a worm and write a bull, I would say you're nuts. And so there's a lot of stuff that he does that I'm like, yes, absolutely. And the thing that I like about Carl is that he's a very simple person. And by that I don't mean simple-minded. He's just very uncomplicated. And that to me is so refreshing with so many people that are jaded and snide and snarky. To have somebody that's just completely unaffected. You know, I really like him. So I love all his books. Another cue. So I told you it's going to go everywhere. Yeah, back there.
I have a two-parter question.
I may have a two-part answer.
Okay.
It may be more than that.
Well, the first question is, have you ever watched Birdemic Shock and Terror?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. Well, then the second part of the question doesn't work.
So you didn't have a two-part question.
It was a two-part question if you answered yes to the first
Oh, sorry. Right there.
Alright, mine's two-part.
Okay.
Have you watched King of the Nerds?
No.
It's on, if you don't know about TBS, this is like 13 nerds competing on like nerdy stuff. And it's like the dad from Lizzie McGuire and the guy who does the voice acting for Snot American Dad. It's really cool. It has a lot of nerd elements. I think you really like it.
Okay. Okay.
And have you read anything from Sherilyn Kenyon's Dark Hunter series?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you must.
I wish. What kind of series is it?
It's a paranormal romance, so yes, there's sex scenes. But she's a very big geek herself. And she goes to Dragon Con every year.
Okay, my thing is, I've got really weird tastes in literature.
That's why I thought you
No, but it's not necessarily what everybody else thinks of as geek literature, because not everything I read is geek literature. I just finished Marty Feldman's biography. Marty Feldman is one of my all-time favorite physical comedians. I just found out there was a biography, so I read that. I read a lot of stage directing theory, improvisational comedy theory books. In terms of authors I read Ailey Martinez, who I think is so gifted, Jasper Ford, Christopher Moore, Mario Esvito, Stephen King, Clive Barker, and then if something catches my eye, something has to really catch my eye, and I have to look at the back and go, okay, that looks like something I'd read. That's why Amazon is so bad for me. All the descriptions make the books look brilliant. What do you want, Trouble?
I'm off. I'm coming to watch panel.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Another cue. Right there.
Okay, any anime you could turn into a stage musical, a la Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. What would you do?
I was about to say probably Narama Daikon Brothers because it's already a musical. If I had to not choose that, one that I think would be a lot of fun. I just directed a show called Maria Holic, and I think that would be fun on stage. You just have to figure out how to do all the nosebleeds, and the hives. That would be the trick. Yes, right there.
I'm sorry. When is Maria Holic going to be released? Because I know Tokyo Pop never got to finish the manga, and it tore me to pieces.
Season 1 is already out. Season 2 should be out at the end of the month. Or it may already be out. I don't think it's out, though. Somebody else had their hand up. Not a problem. Yes. Oh, real quick, about Maria Holic. Just so you know, because the voice cast has been announced, I'm really proud of the show because, for those of you who are older school anime fans, it is the first time since Excel Saga that we have Jessica Calvello and Monica Rial together in a screwball comedy. That's the original Excel and Hyatt. And they are phenomenal. I mean, each one of those girls is a force of nature unto herself. And you put them together, and it was such a joy to work on. Michael.
Given Shakespeare or Mozart, which would you rather create a production for?
Shakespeare. I love Mozart, but Shakespeare, absolutely.
Which one?
Oh, which one? Oh, God. Pick a genre, history, comedy, or tragedy.
Tragedy.
Tragedy, Othello. Hands down. No, I'm sorry, Lear. I love Lear. Othello. Yeah.
So if you had a chance to do the ball, you'd do the ball.
Absolutely. 100 times over. I've got several really strong concept Shakespeare ideas in my head that I will eventually do someday. I really want to do Troilus and Cressida set in a Vietnam-like era, because you've got one group invading the other's homeland, and the people whose homeland are lean and hungry to win. You've got a person from that homeland whose uncle barters her off to a soldier from the other side. Very, very Vietnam-esque. I'd love to do, and I know this has been done before, I'd love to do Julius Caesar set in a South American dictatorship. I'd love to do Midsummer Night's Dream set antebellum, like Civil War era, so that Oberon becomes the Indian totem bear, and Titania becomes the Indian totem dove, which is Grace and Beauty, which makes Coyote, who's the trickster. And also you have a lot of clothes to take off during all that stuff running through the woods and the clothes coming off. You've got, hoop skirts, panelings and stuff like that. It'd be a lot of fun to do. Another cue. Yes, right there.
I have a two-part question.
Okay, I may have a two-part answer.
What did you think about the movie The Conjuring?
What movie?
The Conjuring.
I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
And
I really enjoyed it.
I liked The Conjuring, but another movie that came out during that time was Insidious 2, and I did not like that movie.
I really liked Insidious 2.
It felt like it jumped around too much.
Beg pardon?
It jumped around a lot.
My thing was that there were so many unanswered questions from one. And that's what I wanted. I wanted closure from that story. And that's what I got in it. And they were done by the same people. And I think it's very interesting to watch that director, because he took what he learned from Insidious 1 and used that in The Conjuring. And then he took what he learned from The Conjuring and used that to make Insidious 2. And so I've been enjoying watching that director grow as a director and learn from his previous films. I think it's fascinating course to chart. So, yeah. Another cue. Right over there. Does it have to be a movie? I, Claudius. Hands down. Hands down, I, Claudius. I will tell my I, Claudius story, which I don't usually tell at conventions. Derek Jacobi is my all-time favorite actor. Sir Derek Jacobi. If you saw Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet, he played Claudius. He was in Gladiator. He was in one of the Underworld films, which I can't remember which Underworld. He was in the movie Ironclad. He was, Brother Cadfael. But Who. What?
This is Doctor Who.
He's Professor Yana in Doctor Who. Yeah. I, Claudius. If you've never seen it, it's a BBC series. It's got everybody: Patricia Quinn from Rocky Horror, John Rhys Davies, Patrick Stewart with hair, John Hurt plays Caligula, and it is basically the soap opera of the Roman Empire. It covers from Caesar Augustus through, technically through Nero, the start of Nero. So you go through, Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius. So you're going through several generations. Well, Claudius was thought to be a simpleton. He had a profound stutter and a nervous tic, and he was lame. And he's played by Derek Jacobi. He's played from like his early 20s up into his 60s. And as a child, I was fascinated with the show. It was on BBC. I was on PBS as a child when I was in middle school. And Derek Jacobi in the film, he'll be talking, and there'll just be this tick to his head. And I would watch it, and my mother noticed one day that I'm sitting there watching it, and the whole time I'm watching, every now and again, my head would twitch. And my mom was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What's wrong?" And then she gradually realized that every time his head would twitch, mine was. I was so caught up in his performance that I didn't even realize that I was mirroring what he was doing. And ever since then, ever since middle school, I've been fascinated with him as an actor. I think he's amazing. Another cue. Way back there.
What's the worst horror movie that's come out in the past 10 years?
God, I'm going to have to look it up to see if it came out within 10 years. Now, I'm just going to take a guess. Within recent memory, can I give you two?
Yeah.
Two films I've hated. I hate with a passion, and I will explain why. Ever seen the movie Hostel?
Yeah.
Piece of crap.
Yeah.
Ever seen the movie Wolf Creek?
Yeah.
Piece of crap.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what they do with Wolf Creek 2. I always give shows a second chance. Here's my thing, and it's easier for me to explain this with Wolf Creek than it is with Hostel. But the the definition still follows. Okay, who here has seen Wolf Creek? Okay, good. Oh, we got some hands. Okay, cool. Okay, beginning of the film, first 15 minutes of the film, we establish that the brunette is a kick-ass heroine, the blonde is a whiny bimbo, the guy is an Australian hunk. Right? Am I wrong? 30 minutes into the film. What we've now established within 30 minutes of watching, the brunette is a kick-ass heroine, the blonde is a whiny bimbo, the guy is an Australian hunk. 45 minutes into the movie, we have now established the brunette is a kick-ass heroine, the blonde is a whiny bimbo, the young guy is an Australian hunk, the older guy is comic relief. An hour into an hour and 20-minute movie, we have now established the brunette is a kick-ass heroine, the blonde is a whiny bimbo, the young guy is an Australian hunk, and something's weird with the older guy. It is about at the hour 5-minute mark of an hour and 20-minute film that anything happens. And as a viewer, I have a problem with that. Hostel, I felt, was the same way. It was a lot of waiting for something to happen. And yes, I write and everything. I love plot exposition. I love character development. But you don't need an hour. You don't need an hour for this. And I found both films very frustrating. Both of them had amazing potential. But and I will say, both of those shows did one really cool thing. And both of these did this. They have a character who's set up as a hero or heroine. First person to die. Which to me, at that point, you go, oh wow, all bets are off. The person that we've set up as a lead is dead. I think that's very cool as a viewer, because then you don't know where you're going. But we only had like 20 minutes for anything to happen after that. And I'm like, really? So, the only good thing about Hostel was the cameo by Takashi Miike. I was like, Takashi Miike, yeah! Another cue. Right there.
Well, a few weeks ago I watched the movie You're Next. What did you think about that movie?
I've not seen it. I've got it on my iPad. I haven't gotten to watch it next. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, though. It looks like it has potential. It's way back there. Yeah, you. Looking around.
Me? Okay.
Yes, you.
This is an actual question. So, your orange mug is one of your signature things you always have. Do you have any particular stories that are terrifying, funny, or... You decide.
About the cup?
Yes.
Your
cup.
2 cup stories. 3, because I'll tell you how I got its name. I was at a convention one time, and this guy was harassing my brother, and I thought he was going to hit my brother. Greg talks about having a hockey temper. I'm a slow burn temper. I will blow up like a volcano, and then it will be over. But I've got a really long fuse, with one exception. If you mess with my family, if you mess with my friends, I become a big green rage monster. And Greg fortunately saw this and stopped me. I had a cup. I can't do it with that one because it's full right now. I had a cup that was almost full. Hang on. Don't have the strength in my fingers. There we go. There we go. I'm standing at a convention. This guy's harassing my brother. And they caught me before I did. All of a sudden, everybody said I was coming up behind this guy and the cup was getting higher. It was full. That thing's heavy when it's full. I mean, here's the difference. Empty, full. Wow. It became 64 ounces of ice cold vengeance. Fortunately, I got stopped and Greg was going. Well, funny story. I had not long gotten my first cup, which was a 32 ounce little baby cup. This is 64, that's 100. I've got a couple of 120s at home. I was wandering through, carrying my cup, and I was coming out of a fight rehearsal out of school. And we're all walking to the cars after rehearsal. I had my sword bag in one arm, because it was a fencing, it showed a lot of fencing. And in my cup, which I usually hold like this. And I had an itch on the back of my neck. Using the dummy cup. And I went. Now all the students saw of me walking along and taking the cup and they all thought I had lost my mind.
Did it still itch?
No, I was too soaking wet to itch. It was too much of a shock. I think the itch ran away. The way it got its name was I had the cup for a number of years, and that's just Chris's cup. And I was at a convention, and I was sitting in the bar. They had real high bar stools, and I was sitting, and obviously I'm short, so my legs didn't touch the bottom. They were kind of swinging. And I was sitting there, and I just happened to grab the cup and was drinking it like this. And Mike McFarland said, "Oh my God, you look like a giant toddler with the world's largest sippy cup." And somebody else said, "Oh my God, it's the sippy cup of doom." And from that point on, that's what everybody's called it. That's how it became the sippy cup of doom. So, another cue. Right there.
What about your worst con experience?
I try not to talk about bad con experiences too much, especially bad fan experiences. And usually bad con experiences are bad fan experiences. I think anime fans get too bad a rap, and I'll tell you why. It's because the weird and the bad stories are the ones that are the most fun to tell. And so you hear actors do nothing but talk about bad experiences. And I think that gives anime fans a really, really bad rap. I will just say bad experiences have included stalkers, threats, getting slapped during an autograph session by somebody who didn't like me in Gantz, who thought I did a horrible job in the show, reached across the table and slapped me. Yeah. No, not blasphemy. He didn't like it. But this is what I always tell people as a director. I say, don't blame the actor. If you don't like something in one of my shows that I directed, blame me. Don't blame my actors because they do what I tell them to. Just like I did what my director in Gantz told me to. So, another cue. Right over there. Oh God, there's hundreds of them.
Your favorite? How about that? One of them.
God, that's really hard to quantify. I don't have any that are popping into my head. That's the problem. If it popped into my head. God, I can't even remember. I've slept since then. Serious. I think it was Michael Tatum nearly wetting his pants when he saw me in the 7th Doctor costume. Because he's as big a Doctor Who fan as I am. He just started jumping up and down and screaming. I thought he pooped a little. Yeah, it was really funny. Another cue. Right over there.
So you said you want to talk about back experiences with
I try not to.
But what's I guess from a fan of yours, what's the maybe weirdest but also coolest gift you've ever been given at anywhere at a convention?
I've gotten a lot of cool gifts. I try to discourage people from giving me gifts because for one, I don't usually take food gifts unless I know the person really well. Because I've had friends that have been drugged at conventions, and it's very easy to put rat poison in something, so I don't do that. I've gotten a lot of really cool fan art of characters that I've done, or one of me in a Gantz suit. It was very disturbing. But it's really cool. It's really cool. I get a lot of stuff like that. I've gotten some amazing Doctor Who stuff. Again, hard to quantify. I thought you were going to say the weirdest thing somebody's asked me to autograph. That was a dead baby shark. In formaldehyde.
What? Okay. What did you just say?
A dead baby shark in formaldehyde. No, it was something they asked me to autograph.
Jesus!
There are these people in Kentucky that try to find the weirdest thing every year for Greg and I to autograph. Greg has autographed much weirder things than I have. People's wooden legs. One girl took out her eye. And last time I wanted to autograph it. We're like, I don't know about that. Right back there on the camera, you had your hand up.
Yeah, not a bad experience, but the best or most uplifting experience.
I will tell you, I just had the best con experience ever in January. Another sale. My girlfriend and I had worked for over a year on this 7 and Ace cosplay. And we had decided we were going to do it. It was very cool because Friday night I had my full beard. And Friday night after the roast for Jerry Jewell, I went up to my room because I was the roast master, shaved my beard. So when I put on the costume, I don't have the Hawaiian shirt and I didn't carry the cup. So nobody recognized me. My handler, my guest handler, my liaison, who had known me for 9 years, walked past me 4 times. He was the one in charge of getting me where I needed to go. I was like, Brian, he's like, oh, so that's not the cool experience. For one, I'm going to say I don't understand how you cosplayers do it. Because it took me like 2 hours to get through one area because every time we take a step, it says, Dr. A's picture! Dr. A's picture! So it took forever to go anywhere. But Crystal and I are coming back from lunch. We're coming through the foyer area. And I hear this voice scream, Dr. Ace. And we turn around, and running towards us is this 7 or 8-year-old girl dressed as Clara Oswin. She looked adorable, like the young Clara. And she wanted a picture with us so bad. So we're like, okay, absolutely. So we posed for a picture with her. And Crystal was talking to her, and I was talking to her mom, and her mom said, you know, you really made her day. She loves the 7th and Ace. She said she was coming to this convention just convinced that she was going to get to meet all of the doctors. She said, well, this is an anime convention. I know there's going to be some Matt Smiths and some David Tennants, and that's going to be about it. And I said, hold on a minute. Because my friend Chris Hawley was there. And because he knew that I was dressing as the Doctor that day, he had brought along his number 5. So I knew there was a number 5 wandering around. So we got him. Crystal's ex-boyfriend, who's a good friend of mine also, Stephen, was dressed as Hartnell, the first Doctor. So we called him. While we're waiting for that, we kept telling him, oh, just hold on a couple of minutes. Just hold on, wait with us for a few minutes. And we told the mom what was going on. While we're waiting, an Amy Pond River Song and 10 came by and says, oh my God, it's a Doctor Who meeting. So Chris comes around the corner, broccoli on his lapel, and the girl is just freaking out. Because now there's 7, 5, and 10.
And 1.
Well, not yet. When Stephen comes around the corner, he has run into a friend of his who happened to be dressed as the 6th Doctor. So all of a sudden, she's got, 1, 5, 6, 7, 10. She had 5 doctors and Ace, Amy, River, and 3 companions. And the little girl was just squealing and jumping up and down. It was the coolest thing. It was probably my absolute favorite convention memory that I've had in a long time. So, yeah, that was really cool. Another cue, right there.
Well, I'm going to ask this question, but I don't know how hard it is to answer. But what's your favorite Doctor Who episode or episodes?
Oh, absolutely. That's hands down. There's not even a question. Vincent and the Doctor.
No, I mean episodes. Like
Vincent and the Doctor.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
that's an episode. Yeah. So, not a problem. Another question. Yes, right there.
I just wanted to go back to Gantz.
Okay.
Because I've seen it recently. Very first episode. Really beautiful man. Crazy talk going on in his head, which I think a lot of us do, which normally in anime, the guy looks cool, in his head he sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a choice you and the director made, or was that something that was informed by the original?
Is informed by the original, and the thing is, you have to remember, the story of Kay in Gantz is a person who becomes a reluctant hero. He's not a hero. In order for him to become one, you've got to take a journey. He's an ass. He's a horny, self-interested, self-absorbed, cowardly teenager. And that's who and what he is. And he's forced because of circumstances to take on a leadership role and to become this heroic character. We've gotten a lot of complaints that, I know teenagers. Male teenagers are not that horny. I see all the guys laughing. And teenagers don't use that much profanity. I spent like 10 or 12 years working as a guest artist in high schools. I know the truth. So yeah, but Gantz will always be one of my favorite shows, and here's something that I've always said about it and Speedgrapher. They would be 2 of my favorite shows even if I weren't in them. I just love the stories and I love what they say. So another cue. Right there.
You said you're that. I know you're great with improv. Right?
I love improvisation.
Yeah, improvisation with and also in comedy. Did you ever try to look into Whose Line Is It Anyway, or Not just watching it, but maybe be on it sometimes?
No. They go with usually Chicago-trained Second City alumni. I'm not really interested. Yes, the problem is what they have to do on Whose Line is so censored. And they're not allowed to be a quarter as funny as those guys really are. If you were to see those guys in a real improv situation, my problem is not all improvisation is short form. What you're seeing is what's called short form improvisation. I enjoy doing short form. I've done short form before, but I really love long form, which you're not going to get any long form on television, unfortunately. You get one or no suggestions from an audience, and then you go for 30 to 45 minutes. And it is absolutely amazing theater. It is absolutely brilliant. If you ever get into Chicago and you get a chance to go to I.O., I highly recommend it. If not, there's a DVD that's out and it's available on iTunes, and it was on Netflix for a while, called Trust Us, This Is All Made Up. It's Dave Pasquesi and T.J. Jagodowski. They go on stage, get no suggestion from audience, and just go for an hour. And it is brilliant. It is absolutely, and it's all completely off the top of their heads. I love long form because of that, because you can do, there's a lot more depth and stuff you can get than that.
Is the long form a lot more common in stage productions?
More common than stage productions?
Well, I mean, like when it's like something goes wrong and they have to.
No. You rely on your improvisation training, but it's not like you're going to create a whole new story if something goes wrong on stage. You're going to use your improvisation skills to cover if there's a problem. But absolutely. Another cue. There.
As a director, what is the hardest thing to direct and the most rewarding?
Can you clarify, what do you mean by the hardest? Are you talking about genre or style?
If you're teaching someone to do something new.
It really depends on the actor. I've had some actors come to me who said, oh, I can't dance, that I've had in musicals. I've had some who say, oh, I can't handle verse, who are working in Shakespeare. I've had some say, oh, I can't sing, and they're doing a Sondheim. And that always presents challenges. I think the coolest thing for me is when an actor has a breakthrough. When an actor who didn't feasibly know that they could do something learns that they can. There's no drug in the world that's as good. Those are the moments as a director that you live for, be that in the booth or on stage. I've been lucky to see a lot of people through moments like that. It's incredibly rewarding. It's one thing, you get a lot more of that on stage than you do ADR recordings. So that's one of the things that I do really miss about not doing stage anymore. Another cue, right there. It's funny. I had a good time. Danny Sucking, I was one of the, I came into the show very late because of my recording schedule as a director. And I pray there's not a second season with Corset in it. Here's why. Because you know we had the voice is right in here. It's very similar to Frieza, but a little lower. And then at the end, everything's here! Yeah, if it comes back, I'd have to do that for the whole series. No. Don't want to do that. When he becomes the little sperm guy, yeah, no. But I thought the show was hysterically funny. I had a great time working on it. Another cue. Back there.
What do you think of John Hurt as the Doctor?
I love John Hurt as an actor. He's an actor that, in fact, I will tell my John Hurt story. I directed a show called Book of Bantora at Seraphim, or Sentai. And we needed a trailer for it. And they wanted this, they wanted a low voice right in here. So I did it. And the people from the Anime Network were like, well, that's what we asked for, but it's not what we want. We want something else. Great. So they said, can you give us something a little older sounding, a little creepier? So everything I did was right in here. So when a person dies, they become a book. And so I did the entire trailer like that. And I didn't realize how much like John Hurt that sounds. And until I finished, and the producer from Anime Network goes, could you do me a favor, Chris? I'm like, yeah, what do you need? She goes, could you use that voice? I said, yeah. She goes, could you say, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter? If we need a John Hurt, we've got you. Which is funny because Chris Sabat thinks that my Frieza voice sounds like Dame Judi Dench. So I'm cornering the market on the English lords and ladies, I guess. Another cue. There. That's fine. Combat is fine to talk about.
If you had to pick one absolute gold profile piece, like, look at what I did, look how proud I am of this, it is my best work ever for like fighting improv. What sequence or whatever would you say is your crowning achievement?
For entire show, it would be Romeo and Juliet. The punk goth Romeo and Juliet I did had fights that scared the audience horribly. In fact, at the end of the opening brawl, when I had 38 people fighting on, no, 38 people fighting 36 pictures, when the gun fired, when the prince came on and fired the gun, and it stopped all the fights cold, almost every night there was some older person in the audience who went, oh, thank God. They just knew that someone was going to be hurt. So that absolutely, that show was such a fight-heavy show. In individual pieces in a show, I'd have to say probably my second production of Extremities. That show is just brutal, and it's just two people for a majority of the violence. And it's got to be, and we did it in a black box, which meant I am farther away from you than some of the audience was to the action. And you had to really be careful that it looked real, that everybody was safe. And it's about an assault. It's about a guy who breaks into a woman's house and assaults her. And it's a very powerful, very heavy piece. But yeah, that we had a lot of walkouts because of me, because of the work of the show. So I think that was that. Outside of that, if I had to pick something from Romeo and Juliet, it would be the Paris women, which was just great. Because it was knife fighting. So yeah, another cue. Right there.
You know that because when you Google something, they put posters up for it. You know, like for Gantz, it's not a poster. You have to see from a manga that's sexy, not even.
That's fine. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. It's not really me. It's just my voice, and in the manga, it's definitely not me. Another cue. Hello, sisters. Right back there.
My friend wants to know what your stance on fan service is.
It doesn't bother me. It's neither here nor there. I've done so many shows with fan service in it. I've done so many shows without fan service. For me, if it's right for the story, then it's right. You know, I don't care. You know, it doesn't bother me either way. But good question. Another cue. Way back there with your hand up. Yes, you looking around.
What's your favorite Carl Idiot Abroad episode?
What Idiot Abroad episode? Oh God, which season?
Whichever one you want.
As he stumped for a moment here.
No. I think Mexico. Machu Picchu. Was it Machu Picchu? Yeah, Machu Picchu. I really love that. Although, I do have to say, him in Brazil with Christ the Redeemer was really funny. Yeah, one of those two. But I love the entire third series with Ian Warwick Davis. That was nice. I just don't like the fact that they always set him up to have an awful time. I really didn't like that, but it just reaffirms how much I don't like Ricky Gervais. Thank you.
What is your favorite horror movie of all time? Like one of the favorites.
There is a film, and it's very hard because I love a lot of the classics. I love a lot of the old Universal classics, but I also love Halloween and the original Nightmare on Elm Street and the original Texas Chainsaw. And absolutely The Exorcist. But, and this is kind of campy, it's not nearly as good to probably modern audience as it was to me. Oh God, there's that one too. Okay, I'm gonna do two. Most modern horror fans have not heard of. One is called Alone in the Dark. It stars Jack Palance, Earl Van Lith, Martin Landau, Dwight Schultz, and Donald Pleasance. It's wonderful. It's a fun romp. After that, there's a vampire film. But so many vampire films. Who here has seen the movie Near Dark? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Redneck vampires. I love it. It is, and it's Bill Paxton and, the guy from Heroes.
Adrian Pastar.
Adrian Pastar, Lance Henriksen. Do you know who the woman is in that?
She's the chick from Aliens.
It's Vasquez from Aliens. You never recognize that as being Vasquez, but it's really cool. Yeah, so yeah, I love both of those films. But I love. It's very hard for you to find a horror film that I can't find something good about.
The movie Bowl version of Alone in the Dark?
No, I didn't see that one. Yeah, right there.
Favorite zombie movie?
See, now that's better because you're picking genre. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. I love Dawn of the Dead. It's just fun. I've seen it about 75 times. Usually while eating chili at home. Another cue. Way back there.
Favorite horror anime?
Another. And I don't say that because I directed it, but I love Another. I call it the Final Destination of horror anime. It's like Final Destination. Yeah, right there.
What's your favorite death in Another?
My favorite death in Another? Oh, God. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll say either Brittany Karbowski's, which involved a flight of stairs, or David Matranga's, which happened in front of a classroom full of students who were like this. Those are both spectacular. Although Houston Hayes, the one in the ocean, is really good too. You don't see as much in that one. There's not nearly as much red in that one, but all of them are really good. It's right there.
Okay. What's your favorite Doctor Who creature from the old series, the one that's been revived, left in the old and in the new, and then what's your favorite creature?
Daleks. Daleks from the classic series, absolutely. And Daleks from the new series. In terms of the new creatures that have come out, I love the Weeping Angels, but I also really love the Silence too. So that's kind of a toss-up for those. Yeah, right there.
What's your favorite type of voice to use when voice acting?
It depends on the character. It really varies. Most of what I play a lot of villains. So a lot of what I do is here. I do a lot of very low. I also do a lot in here. This is kind of my go-to. They use this for everything. So I do a lot of this kind of thing. I do a lot of very hoarse, growly, gravelly. I can go higher, obviously, and I can clean up the sound, obviously, from Gantz and stuff like that. But it generally, for me, I have to see the character and see what they look like, and that will inform, and what the director wants will inform where the voice goes. I'm about to record myself on a show. I'm doing a 12-line role in my new show, and I can't say what the show is, and I can't say what the character is, but I'm basically going to be doing my Richard Epcar impression.
Which is?
The character has no flaps.
Hey, how are you, buddy? Yeah, good to go, big guy.
It's going to be low and kind of cheesy. And Richard would love that I said that. I love Richard Epcar. I absolutely adore. But he's just low and he says, "How you doing, buddy?" So the minute I saw this character, I went, I know what I've got to do. I've got to do my tip of the hat to my buddy. So, anyway, another question. Right there.
What did you think of Day of the Doctor and the episode where Matt Smith regenerates?
Love them. Love them. Love both of them.
Like,
no complaints whatsoever about either one of them.
But like, what were things that you did like?
I can't say too much because I don't know who's seen them and who hasn't and who's going to. So
my bad.
There's a cameo at the end of Night of the Doctor that had me sobbing.
Night of the Doctor?
Well, the regeneration. Day of the Doctor. Yeah. And then the 50th anniversary special, which was called what? That was the Day of the Doctor.
Yeah.
I can't.
Time of the Doctor.
Time of the Doctor.
Time of the Doctor was the Christmas. Day of the Doctor, the end of it. The entire end. The minute they made the decision and he got help, I was screaming at the top of I was sitting in front of the TV just screaming. So, yeah, I watched it, the original showing at 2 o'clock, I watched the 8 o'clock showing, I watched the midnight showing, and then the minute the midnight showing was over, I could download it on iTunes. So, yeah, I watched it a lot that day. Another question? Yeah, right there. Craziest line I've had to do for an anime. Oh, God. So the problem is, so many of the shows that are out, I did like eight or 9 months ago. And I've done shows since then. I would have to say the craziest stuff I did vocally, and they were lines that I created, was in a weird little show called Papua. Anybody seen it? I play this jazz-loving sea otter named Oshodonai. And all of his attacks when they go to war are scat riffs. And I didn't realize, the first time we did it, we thought, oh, that's cute. I didn't realize he was going to war later. And they're all, and I was like, oh my God, if I have to scat anyway. So, but I love Osho, so we called it Osho. Another cute. Way back there.
What did you think of Repo?
I enjoyed Repo. I thought it was fun. I had more problems with Devil's Carnival, which was still not bad, but I didn't like it as much as I enjoyed Repo. Oh, cool. Oh, for Devil's Carnival? Cool. Then maybe that'll answer some of the stuff left over for me. Cool. Yeah, right there.
What's a remake of an old horror movie? Like they did the remake of the Texas Chainsaw recently, and they did the Friday the 13th. Were there any remakes that you thought were equally as good as the originals, or the older ones, are, if not better?
Here's the thing. Yes. Well, let me say something about remakes. I'm gonna go on my remake rant for a minute. There's a horror film that I saw when I was younger. Saw it in the movie theater. It's called Last House on the Left. The original. If you've seen it on home video, you've not seen this film. I saw this film in a movie theater at a midnight movie, and it's the only film I've ever seen that I felt like I needed a bath. Actually, I felt dirty for having seen it. It's made by Sean S. Cunningham and Wes Craven. It's their first film. Who went on to do Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. Because Cunningham did Friday the 13th. The film, they were originally documentary filmmakers. So that's the only style they knew how to shoot in. 1. 2. All cast of unknown actors. 3. I can't say what the subject matter is because it's horrific. So you've got a film with unknown actors, shot documentary style, and, to make bad matters worse, they shot it on 16mm film and blew it up to 35. So when you saw it in the movie theater, it was like you were watching someone's own movies of these horrible things happening. So it was with great trepidation that I saw The Last House on the Left remake, which was horrendous. It should not have even had the same name. They took very essential elements of the plot and changed them to the point where the people that you should have sided with, in my opinion, were no better than the villains because of things they did. Now, so that made me very reluctant to see another horror film that came out around the same time, I Spit on Your Grave, which was classic for the era. It was horrifying, it was brutal, it was awful. And they remade that right around the same time. And both of them deal with the subject that I have a real hard time with, and that's sexual assault of a woman. Nothing makes me angrier. But again, horror movie fan, remake of classic film that was very powerful because it is kind of empowering for the women. And so it was still with reservation. I went to see I Spit on Your Grave, the remake. I will say this. The remake of I Spit on Your Grave was everything that the remake of Last House on the Left should have been. It was unflinching. It was brutal. It's one of the hardest films I've ever had to watch in modern day. It horrified me to watch it. I was appalled. I was disturbed, and I bought it on home video and have never watched it again. It's on my shelf because I'm really obsessive compulsive about my horror movie collection. My DVD collection is over 5,000, and I keep them in binders because I don't have shelf space. I kept it. I didn't get rid of it because I have to have it for the collection because I'm OCD like that. My girlfriend says dating me is like dating Adrian Monk. Quite that bad, kind of. Yeah. So I really enjoyed something that everyone hated that I really enjoyed the remake of was Nightmare on Elm Street. I love what Jack Earl Haley did with that character. The problem I've had with Nightmare on Elm Street for a while is they took the first Nightmare on Elm Street was wonderful, but they took a character that was really creepy and scary and made him comic relief for a film. And Freddy, by the second or third film, failed to be scary. He's just a guy that popped up and did one-liners and killed people.
Now I'm playing with power.
Yeah, well now, the thing is, they gave Jack Earl Haley the same kind of dialogue they would give to Robert Englund. They were true to that. But, oh my lord, in his hands, it was not funny. There was nothing funny about it. It was just creepy. So that's a remake that I'm not going to say it was better than the original, but I liked it as much as I liked the original. So, another cue. I gotta see what time it is. How much time do we have?
Quarter to.
We got about 15 minutes. Right there.
What's in the jug?
What?
What's in the
Coca-Cola.
jug?
I'm allergic to alcohol, so I don't want to go to the hospital, so yeah, it's I'm also hypoglycemic, so I gotta have sugar every now and again, or my hands start really shaking and I start to crash. So I also carry glucose tablets with me in case I might really start crashing bad. So anyway, another question, but good question. Yes, way back there.
So speaking of remakes, what did you think about Evil Dead?
I loved the remake of Evil Dead. I thought it was wonderful. It wasn't nearly as campy, but I thought it was great. I loved it. Another cue. Right there. Oh, God. What was the one that I just read? I loved Under the Dome. I loved the new one about JFK. Oh, Dr. Sleep. Oh my God, Dr. Sleep is a follow-up to The Shining, which I also loved. Outside of that, I would probably say Dead Zone. Oh no, The Stand. No, God, what am I talking about? The Dark Tower series. Boy. I'm an idiot, but no, I loved Dr. Sleep. I thought it was wonderful. If you're a fan of the original Shining, definitely read Dr. Sleep. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like the new content creators out there, you know, like Doug Walker, James Rolfe? You may know them as Nostalgic Critic, Angry Video Gamer. No? Never mind this.
I spend all my time working, dude. I don't have time to surf the internet for stuff a lot of times. Sorry. Yeah, right there.
What are your thoughts on the Child's Play, like the Chucky?
They were fun. I thought they were great. Brad Dourif's a wonderful actor. So, and in the last one, I haven't got to see the last one, but his daughter is in it. His daughter is the female lead. So it's father and daughter squaring off against each other. It's kind of
It's also nice because it wasn't a reboot.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it was really nice.
Yeah, they did a real good job with it.
That's I need to get that. Right there.
What's your favorite scene of The Shining? And number two, what do you think of the Saw series?
Saw series is fun. I know a lot of people say it's torture porn. I don't think so. I think they're very twisted morality plays. I thought Saw was fun. They're not real deep. You're not going to get a lot out of them. Just kind of a jump and thrill ride. Favorite scenes from The Shining? Are you talking about the television miniseries or the Kubrick film? The Kubrick film. I have to say, I think the moments when Jack Nicholson is chasing that child through the maze in the snow, it's just chilling. I think most of Nicholson's performance is wonderful. Yeah, right there. Actually, do you know who Stephen King wanted for that role? Bill Murray. Here's the reason, and I agree with Stephen King. Bill Murray would have been perfect in that role. My problem that I have with Kubrick's film is that Jack Nicholson starts that film crazy. He's crazy from moment one. If you read King's book, Jack Torrance starts out as a really nice, decent guy. Yes, he's got a drinking problem. But he's a good guy. He's a good father. He's a nice guy. You love him. They love him, so they hire him to be the caretaker of the Overlook. And gradually he starts to lose his mind. Nicholson starts the film crazy. Murray wouldn't. Murray would have started it as an everyman and gone nuts. It would have been interesting to see what he did with going crazy.
So what did you think of Steven Weber?
I loved the TV movie. Because the TV movie was closer to the book. I thought it was far superior. And now, I can't say far superior because there's one thing that I will continue to love about The Shining. Kubrick, I read an article right after the film came out, because I was obsessed with the film when it came out. Kubrick did something genius. Obviously, Stanley Kubrick was a genius. But he did something amazing in that film. If you want, go back and watch The Shining again. Almost every shot is perfectly balanced. Perfectly balanced shot. Same number of columns, same, he perfectly balanced. Even Nicholson, sitting in that chair typing, is sitting between two uprights. When something is perfectly balanced, your subconscious perceives it as being right or correct. So then, in this atmosphere that was nothing but right, he had all these wrong things happening, which sets up kind of a war between your conscious and your subconscious. And that's what makes you feel so uneasy when you're watching the film. I read an article about it in American Cinematographer, and that's what he said he did. And I was like, so then I went back and watched the film, and I was like, oh my God, he's right. Very often things come from the sides on it, so the blood coming out of the door. Nicholson, when he hits Scatman Crothers with the axe, which should have been a rope mallet, comes from the side of the screen. As Nicholson starts to go crazier, he drifts a little in his chair, just very slightly. But yeah, most of the shots are perfectly balanced. Right there.
Well, actually, this ties into this with adaptations of books. Should they actually be movies or should they actually be TV series? Because you look at like the Game of Thrones or like the Shining TV series, they have longer to do.
I would prefer to see them done more as miniseries or something like that because you have more time. Yeah, I love the Langoliers. It was fun. But because you have more time to tell the story. And I think that's wonderful. I've always been a book guy. I've always been a reader. So, that's, I'm always going to go to the book first, though. Somebody said the other day, they said, oh, man, I love the movie The Great Gatsby. It's a shame I read the book first. What? What do you mean it's a shame I read the book first?
Because sometimes if you read the book first, you're disappointed by all.
No. There was a revelation. There's a death in The Great Gatsby. I won't say if you've never read it. You should. There's a death that happens. And they're like, I was watching the movie, and all of a sudden I remembered so-and-so dies. And I was so disappointed that I'd read the book first. Because they knew this was going to happen. It spoiled the movie for them. Okay. It's fine. Another cue. Right there.
So we're talking a lot about remakes, and we talked about a whole bunch of bad ones. But if you had to choose one movie that's you just love it, that's never had a remake, and have it chosen to be made again.
Okay, I can tell you the movie, and I can tell you how it should be made if I were to do it. I have thought about this.
What have you done?
There's a movie from the 40s or 50s called At Sword's Point. It's about the children of the Three Musketeers. So, in fact, Porthos, Aramis, and Athos all had sons. D'Artagnan had a daughter. The daughter was played by, I believe, June Lockhart. And she is just as good a swordsman as the men were in the film. Now, I'd have to kind of rethink my casting. But I always wanted to see that story. Because, obviously the crown is in danger. The children of the Musketeers are assembled. And they gather all of the other children of the Musketeers. And they come in and save the country. I would love to see that film remade. Set in Japan. And use and now they're all a little old, but use Chow Yun-Fat as the child of what would have been the very dour Athos. Athos. Yeah. Use Jackie Chan as the son of the always drunk Porthos. Use Jet Li as the very handsome, slick son of Aramis, and use Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon as the daughter of the D'Artagnan character, and it becomes a feudal Japan thing, and that would just be so cool. So yes, I have thought about your question. That is my answer. Remake an all-Asian remake of At Sword's Point. So, yes, right back there.
What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you at a con?
I was on this panel, and this girl asked me what the most embarrassing... No. told that story last night at the Chris and Chris panel. I will tell the story again because I can now tell it cleanly. I was at a con called NecoCon in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And this girl who has since become a good friend of mine, a bunch of the guest relations staff were in my room hanging out very late one Thursday night. And one of the girls got up to tell a story and bumped into the armoire who was holding the television. And she goes, "Oh, my butt, my butt!" And I thought, drama queen. Because I didn't know her. She has since become a very, very dear friend of mine. And if this goes on YouTube, I love you, Chi. And so we were all sitting there talking, and she goes, "Ah, man, my butt hurts." And she rubbed her butt, and her hand came up, and it was covered in blood.
Oh.
The armoire, the corner of the armoire was sharp, and she cut a 1-inch gash in her butt cheek. So of course, all the other girls from guest rooms go, "Oh my God!" They rush her off to the bathroom. And they go, oh my God, it's bleeding, oh, it's everywhere, da da da. And they all rush out of my room. So it's almost 3 in the morning, so I went, okay, I'm going to bed. The next day, found it from the con chair. People at the con were talking about the fact that a staff member left my room at 3 in the morning with her butt sore and bleeding. Now I can't deny it, because that is what happened. But it's not like it sounds. So, that's the clean version of that story. You can finally tell that in a very clean way. Another question, how much time do I have? I've got time for another couple of quick questions. Yeah, I got about 5 minutes. A couple of fat speed round questions. Yeah.
Oh, no, that was 5. You got 5.
I know, okay. Right there.
What's your thoughts on
What?
Peter Capaldi.
I can't wait for Peter Capaldi. I think he's an amazing actor. Can't wait to see him. I think he's going to be wonderful. And also, he's been a long time fan of Doctor Who. You're going to have somebody like David Tennant who just loves being the Doctor. It's going to be wonderful. Another cue. Quick, speed round. Fast, that I can answer fast. Yeah.
On the subject of anime horror, what do you think of Dead Man Wonderland?
I think it's wonderful. I love Dead Man Wonderland. Right there. Oh, wait, no, back there.
Favorite color?
Actually, black. Which is actually, yeah.
Not a color. Sorry.
What?
Not a color. No.
I know, technically it's not a color. Another question. Way back there.
There's an actor you've never worked with, but really likes you. Who would that be?
Sir Derek Jackardy. Yeah, no, actually in terms of, most of the actors from Texas that I've wanted to work with, I've gotten the chance to work with. Right there.
Can you do Freeze's voice and say it's up to 9,000?
No, because he doesn't say that in the show.
What?
No, I'm not going to do that. Don't play into that game. If I want Freeze's voice, I'll do Freeze's voice, but not saying it's over 9,000.
Okay.
Once again, my dreams for immortality have been crushed against the shores of your incompetence.
My voice is a little hoarse. I will also say that the Team 4-Star guys are a lot of our friends of mine. In fact, I just finally recently got to meet Little Kariba. He's such a great guy. We had so much fun. He was like, oh my God, he was nice to me. It was really cool. He and I have become friends. I really like. I actually have a convention coming up with him soon. Yeah, so it'll be good to see him again. Another cue. Real fast, speed round. Right there.
You said you've read Mario Acevedo. Who would you choose to play Felix?
Oh God, a guy who does Mario. I don't know. I think you'd almost need an unknown.
Yeah, I think you would.
I really do. But God, somebody who knows Felix.
I know.
Yeah, I say Mario Acevedo. I will just say this: Mario Acevedo, phenomenal book. It's about a vampire private detective who always gets involved in weird supernatural type stories. The titles are some of the most lurid stuff you will ever find. The books are not super graphic. They're not super sexual. But to give you the idea of the titles, the first book is called The Nymphos of Rocky Flats. The second book is called The Undead Kama Sutra. The third book is, which one is the third? Is Jailbait Zombie?
Yeah.
Jailbait Zombie. Yeah, Jailbait Zombie is the third, and then Werewolf Smackdown is the fourth. Yeah. Yeah. And they're wonderful. They're wonderful books. They're a lot of fun. And it completely turns the vampire mythos on its head.
I know, that's what I love about it.
I love his ability to eat. The reason he has to always eat Mexican and Italian food. It's wonderful. Right there.
The Doctor Who Star Trek crossover comic.
Never seen it, sorry. Right there.
What are you listening to?
What am I listening to? I just recently, I haven't gotten to finish listening to it yet. I'm listening to A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Death, the Broadway musical. Mostly on my iPod right now are podcasts. There are several, the Improv Resource Center, Zenprov. So I listen to a lot of improvisational comedy podcasts with different teachers and lecturers and stuff like that. But mainly, a lot of times I listen to a lot of musical theater stuff. So probably right now, Gentleman's Guide and Chaplin are the two that I listen to the most. Yeah, right there.
You said you listen to a podcast. Have you ever listened to or tried Welcome to Night Vale ever?
No, I haven't.
It's a really interesting, different podcast.
Well, no, the podcasts that I listen to are like improv comedy and dramatic theory and stuff. So is that an improv?
No, it's not. It's scripted, but it's still really
Okay, I'll check it out. I'll try to check it out. Yeah, right there.
Okay, this kind of goes with...
right, the young lady.
Least favorite Shakespeare play and why?
Least favorite Shakespeare? I don't know. I like so many of them. I'm not crazy about King John. I'm not as crazy. No, I'm sorry, Richard II. He's a player king. It's okay. It doesn't grab me as much as the others do. Yeah, Richard II. Love Richard III though. Love Richard III. I want to play Richard III someday. Yeah, right there. You.
Oh, me?
Yes, now you.
Okay, I was going to ask. This kind of goes along with her question about podcasts. This is just out of curiosity. Did you ever listen to that anime show by?
Yeah, I listened to it. So I was on it. So I listened.
Oh, you were on it.
Yeah.
I just recently got into it. It's great with
cool.
J. Michael Tatum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's already done. They're already.
Yeah, they ended. It was kind of a sick joke of me because I just got into it, and then the final episode that I'm just ready to watch, it's like they're done. It's like, oh.
Wow. Another cue, real quick. Probably last one. Yeah, right there.
Priscilla's and Ray's voice. Can you do that?
My voice is going out on me, so I'm sorry. One more quick one. Okay, then I guess we're done. Thank you guys so much.